Good evening, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to to hanging out with me on this wonderful late Tuesday evening. I am coming to you because I want to talk to you tonight about the motivation trap. That's what I entitled this live for tonight. And I want to talk about it because if you go on social media, there's so much motivation. I mean, they have speeches and quotes and memes and you name it. There's no shortage of motivation on the internet these days. And so, there's a whole lot of motivation that's out there. As you see, I have some motivational quotes behind my head right here. But there are so many people who are not pursuing their dreams, pursuing their passion, despite all of this motivation that's out there. So it just got me to thinking and wondering, if there's all of this motivation, and the motivation is the thing that's supposed to help us to go after what our goals are, to do what we need to do so we can have what we want to have in our lives. If that's the case, then why aren't more people successful? So that's what I want to talk about tonight. And I'm looking, I think I need to change my microphone. Okay, let's see if that worked. So anyway, but that's what I want to talk about tonight. So I hope you've had a good evening. I hope you had a good day at work and that you're settling in. I know it's late. I won't be long. I just want to talk about this for a little bit. I am going to go ahead and jump right into it. I'm Vashana Weatherspoon, career strategist and excellence accelerator, helping women who feel frustrated in their careers to emerge from stuck and surge to their next level of success. I'm also the host of the Know Your Worth Career podcast that's centered around helping women to maneuver some of the sticky situations that they encounter in their careers. I actually was passing by the television today, and I think it was CNN, and they were talking about this new congresswoman. I can't remember her name right now, and I think she's going to run for president. This is like her 8th day of campaigning, and they were talking about her campaign, but the story ventured off into the fact that she was difficult to work with. And she said, yes, I am. I'm tough. And they were talking about how when men display these kind of characteristics in the workplace, it's leadership. But when a woman is tough and she sticks to, her whatever it is, to her word, or she has standards and she expects high results and achievement from her staff, then she's bossy, or she's the B word. And they were actually having this conversation, and that's what caught my attention. So I stopped in front of the screen and I listened for a little bit. And it was just very interesting, just those dynamics, because she was behaving outside of what is considered to be feminine behavior in the workplace. She was being labeled, and it had created a whole discussion around it. So when I talk about that women and men have different experiences in the workplace, that's one of the key examples of some of the things. I mean, that's just like a tip of the iceberg. But a lot of it is stemmed in the way that we are socialized as women in our society, and the expectations that people have about how a woman should act. So anyway, that's a side note. What I'm talking about tonight is the motivation trap. And that's what I really want to talk about. So before I jump right into it, I want to ask you to share the video, tag a friend, a co-worker, somebody who needs to hear this information so that they can get off of the spinning wheel of the motivation trap and be able to move forward to do what it is that they need to do to achieve their career goals. So I wanted to start off and just share with you what does it mean? What is motivation? So motivation is something that compels you to take action, but it's the driving force or the impetus for it is something outside of yourself. So it's the videotapes, it's the recordings, it's the podcast, it's the quotes and the memes and all of that stuff that somebody else has put up, and you read it and you feel like, oh, I need to do something now because I read that. It makes you want to do something, to take some action, and that's a great thing. On the flip side, though, there's this thing called inspiration. And inspiration is something that you feel on the inside of yourself. And you create it, and it helps you to do the same thing, to take action, to do things that you need to do. It's a driving force. It's a driving force that pulls you. It pulls you to make you want to do the things that you need to do to reach your goals. Whereas motivation is something that, like I said, it's outside of you and it pushes you. So it's that pushing force to make you get up and start to take steps to do the things that you need to do. Now I'm going to talk about that a little bit more because I do have a preference. We all have biases. Let's just admit it. But that's one of my biases is about motivation versus inspiration. We'll get into it in just a second. But, there's this Les Brown. And you guys know Les Brown. He's been around for ages and eons and forever. Probably one of the greatest motivational speakers that exists or that is alive. One of the most. And he has this quote, and when I first read it, it just really, I don't know, it just does something to me just to even think about it. But it says that the graveyard is the richest place on earth, and you've probably heard this before. And it says, because it is here where you will find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled, the books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the inventions that were never shared, the cures that were never discovered, all because someone was too afraid to do what they needed to do to make that thing a reality, right? So when you think about it, that's one of the main reasons we have so much motivation, because we realize that people are stuck and they don't take action and do the things that they need to do. Some people have the most amazing talents and they take them to the graveyard with them because they never do what it takes to be able to share them with the world and let people see what it is that they have to do. I mean, what they know how to do, and share their gifts with everybody else. And maybe, they say each one teach one, so you just never know. You might be inspiring the next Picasso or Einstein by sharing your knowledge and your gifts and your skills and your talents. So it's important, and that's why we have the whole motivation industry, the whole motivational speaker, $1 million thing that goes on, and that's fine and that's well. But I have a bias towards inspiration because it's internal. And when it's something internal, that means you can tap into it at any time. And you don't need some outside person, some outside sign, some outside post on Instagram or on Facebook to motivate you. I tend to think and believe and have experienced that having goals that really excite you, if you have something that really excites you, that you're really passionate about, that you don't need all of that motivation. It has its place, but you don't need it. It's like a nice thing to have, but you don't need it. So what I want to talk to you about just a little bit is, what is that thing that really gets you excited? That keeps coming up for you, because maybe you thought, and I can tell you about my own experience. 20 years ago, I said I wanted to have my own business. And 20 years ago, I went to work. And I got a job, and I started a career, and all the other things that went behind that. But that desire never went away. In the whole 20 years, it never went away. And so it just kept coming back in different forms and different shapes and getting little reminders and, things happen, but you never forget what it is that you really want to do and what you're really passionate about doing. Maybe you feel like it's not the right time to do it right now, but eventually it keeps coming back until hopefully you finally get it and you get up and do what needs to be done to make it happen. So setting your exciting goals. You need to find out what it is that really gets you excited. What is it that you could just pour yourself into for hours on end and never get sick of it? Like if you could do it every day, it would be like a vacation. What is that thing? Whew. So for me, it took a while to figure out what that was. Or maybe it didn't take a while. It took a while for me to realize I had already figured it out. But that's okay. That's a whole nother subject. And it doesn't matter how long or how long it takes you to get there. What matters is that you actually get there. And then you need to decide. You need to decide that this thing is what you want. It's the thing that you want to pursue. And the next thing is you commit to it. You commit to making it happen. Commitment and making a decision are two different things. Making a decision is like, yeah, it's this thing I want to do. I think I might get serious about it. I might, go ahead and do whatever it needs to do. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. But the commitment part that comes in is actually when you are willing. You have the willingness to do whatever it takes. Well, I didn't say work on it a day and see if it works. Work on it 9 days and see if it works. 9 weeks and see if it works. And then if it doesn't, you just say, oh, that didn't work and I'm going to go ahead on and do something else. That's not commitment. I don't care if you worked on it a year and it didn't work and you give it up. That's not commitment. Commitment is, I said I'm going to do this thing. This thing is what I really want. It excites me. I just have to have it. I've decided that that's what I'm going to do. And if it takes me 20 years, I might have to, and I'm sorry, y'all. So this is my analogy. Michael Phelps in the Olympics, and he is trying to win the gold medal, right? So guess what Michael Phelps does? He has his vision. He has his eye on the prize. He knows what he wants to do. And Michael Phelps is in that pool and he's swimming. And he's swimming. And he's swimming, right? He might stop. He'll take his breath. And he goes right back to it. That's what I'm talking about. Until he gets what he went after, which was the thing that he was committed to getting. That exciting goal. That's what we need. More so than motivation, and that's an inner thing. It needs to be so exciting to you, so important to you, and of course, it needs to be something that you're really passionate about. That whole why. Why do you want it? Why is it important? What is this going to change for you? What difference is that going to make? Like all of these different things that you need to ask yourself to make sure it's the right thing first and foremost. Because if it's not, you're not going to stick to it. You're not going to finish it to the finish line or whatever. You'll give up and throw that thing away in a heartbeat. But what I'm talking about is something that you can be relentless about. Like no matter what, I don't care what happens. I might have to stop. I might have to take a break. I might have to, whatever it is that you need to do, you do the course corrections, you make the changes, you adjust, and you keep moving. Even if you experience what you think is failure, you fail forward. Because failure is nothing but an opportunity to learn, to go back, revise it, and do something different. This is the thing for me. For me, the thing that I find so passionate, that I'm so passionate about is I don't need an alarm clock to wake up to do it. because that thing that needs to be done, I mean, I wake up automatically and I can't lay in the bed because I know that there's things that need to be done that I need to do to get myself to where I want to go. So that wakes me up. That keeps me going late at night. It wakes me up early in the morning without the alarm clock, even if I've only slept 3 or 4 hours. And it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter because when I get up and I get started and I'm working on it, then I'm in my zone. I'm doing what it is that I enjoy. I'm doing what I love to do. And as long as you can find that thing, that's going to keep you motivated. It's going to keep you propelling forward. It's going to keep you moving. And all the outside motivation that's out there is just a bonus. It's just the cream on top because you are motivated. You're not motivated. You're inspired from within yourself to do what it is that you need to do to get you to where you want to be. So that's what I want to encourage with you guys. I want you to stop relying so heavily on motivation and on outside influences to get you where you want to be, because as you can see, it's short term. It doesn't really work. Quite honestly, it doesn't really work. It might work for a minute. It might work, for a day. It might work for a week. But long term, that is not the solution. It's not the answer. You need to find your inspiration, your why on the inside, so that you don't need all of that external stuff to help you to get moving, to put one foot in front of the other to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish in your life and in your career. Now, that's enough of my soapbox for tonight. Thank you for sticking here with me and listening to it, but it's really some good information, even though it is my soapbox. Okay, I give me a pass. So I just want to, encourage you to do the soul searching, to do the things that it takes to help you to come up with that one big exciting, and it could be 5 big exciting goals. It doesn't matter. But whatever it is that is going to be something that you really want, that's going to be worth the effort, that's going to be worth the work, that's going to be worth the energy, the pursuit of it. Sometimes it's going to be worth the money because you're going to have to invest in some things. You have to learn to invest in yourself, because if you don't, nobody else will. That's just the bottom line. So anyway, do the work. That's my parting statement. Just do the work and reap the rewards. Okay? Now, I'm going to let you nice people go ahead on and get rested up for tomorrow and get some sleep and all of that good stuff. And I will pop back on tomorrow night. I hope you have a good night. Like and share the video, please, before you log off. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.